Yo, what's happening, y'all? What's good? That's right. Here we are. It is Sunday, April 28th, 2024. And that's right. It is the Boxing Swords podcast. Yeah, I'm here 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah, I'm back in the East Coast briefly. Um what's going down is we have a big weekend that's coming up. Big weekend that's coming up, man. Because for everyone joining in live here on YouTube and X, big ups to G5 Jeff TV in the building. Here, man. Salute to you. Y'all check out G5 Jeff TV on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be going over this fight card that's coming up in Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena. As you have, of course, the undisputed super middleweight titles on the line. You have Canelo Alvarez. You have Jaime Munguia going at it. This is kind of looking like this kind of like has the signs of what happened. What has it been? It's almost been 11 years ago when you had a young Mexican fighter, a young undefeated Mexican fighter, going up against a very accomplished veteran. But that accomplished veteran was undefeated at the time and was the number one pound for pound fighter in the sport in Floyd Money Mayweather. And the young man that faced him almost 13 years ago, was it 13? No, it was 11 years ago. September of 2013, that man was Canelo Alvarez. Had over 40 fights pretty much at that point, undefeated, and had a world championship at 154 pounds at the time. But as we saw, Floyd Mayweather gave him a boxing lesson in that. And now here we are, fast forward to 2024, and you have now Canelo Alvarez as the man that is kind of regarded as one of the top pound for pound fighters in the sport, undisputed super middleweight champion here going up against Jaime Munguia, who, had a world title at 154 pounds, been undefeated. Didn't challenge for a world title at 160, has had a couple of fights here at 168 pounds before now taking on Canelo Alvarez in a Mexico versus Mexico showdown. You have, of course, Canelo now with 64 professional fights under his belt, 60 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. There are 39 of those 60 wins by way of knockout. Jaime Munguia now 43-0 with 34 of those wins by way of knockout. Jaime Munguia is the taller fighter at 6 feet tall, with Canelo Alvarez at 5'8". So you're gonna have this where, of course, Jaime Munguia will be the taller fighter, but it's not like Canelo has had issues with fighters that have been taller than him, with the exception of one person. There in Dimitri Bivol, but going up against the likes of a Billy Joe Saunders or a Caleb Plant or a Callum Smith or Sergey Kovalev, he hasn't had that many issues, been able to make proper adjustments in order to get the wins in those particular fights. So with Jaime Munguia being a taller fighter is one thing, but you got to be able to utilize what you have. You know what I'm saying? And with Jaime, Jaime has a come forward style usually. Has a jab of sorts a little bit, but doesn't really kind of like rely on that jab to build on other things. You know what I'm saying? But it's more about like Jeff is saying here on the live chat. Shout out to Jeff. He says he's looking at Canelo's punch output this fight, and he says that Munguia lets some hands go, and that's the thing here I'm gonna look for in this particular fight is with Jaime Munguia, being a very active fighter as far as like throwing punches, making sure that he just lands on something. Now, Canelo in his, back half of his career or, this past 10, 15 fights, he's been known for being a counterpuncher and seeing what his opponent does first before he's able to react. Mainly because, he's slowing down. Mainly because he does, have that thing where he's had the knee injuries sometime back in. That's kind of like limited his movement around the ring, So he does like a catch and shoot, blocks, and then comes back with the counter and throws like hooks. Pretty much is relying on hooks there, outside of throwing the jab, but very relying on hooks particularly hooks to the body to break down his opponents. So yeah, I'm going to be looking at what Munguia does as far as like an offensive standpoint, particularly in the first half of the fight. If he comes in there very active, and if Canelo answers, and if he answers and lands big against Munguia, how will Munguia react? This is, of course, a significant step up for Jaime Munguia here, particularly in the super middleweight division, as he's had, what has it been, about a couple of fights, within that 168 to, down to 161 to 168. He's faced like Jimmy Kelly above 160 pounds. He's faced Sergey Derevyanchenko, and his last fight was against John Ryder about 3 months ago, right? Where he won by TKO, scoring about pretty much four knockdowns on John Ryder in that stoppage victory. And yeah, I know that some people are kind of like, comparing, that particular fight with what, Canelo was doing there against John Ryder. But John Ryder, pretty much almost a year after facing Canelo, in comparison to Jaime Munguia, yeah, especially with a much younger fighter, much fresher fighter, and Jaime Munguia, yeah, that was completely different, And there were like some things where Ryder kind of opened opportunities for Jaime Munguia to have those chances to knock down John Ryder, The thing with Jaime Munguia, he is a very offensive fighter, but I wouldn't necessarily say that he's much of a defensive fighter of sorts. But we got to see like how Jaime Munguia approaches this particular fight. Especially with him, having a change in trainers recently, not that far back. That's kind of like changed up his approach a little bit. Going into this, Jeff says that, hey man, this fight will be a lot closer than what people think. Styles make fights. I mean, hey, styles make fights. Hey, you're exactly right. I mean, we just had it to where, what has it been? It's been over a week since we had a significant upset here in boxing, of course, as Ryan Garcia had defeated Devin Haney, where Devin Haney was almost up to a minus 1,000, 10-1 favorite. Yep, that's right, like 10-1 at one point, and then during the fight it was almost like 8-1 favorite for Devin Haney before Ryan Garcia was able to come back and win that particular fight. So when we talk about this thing here with Jaime Munguia, yeah, he's kind of like going into this as a pretty fair underdog here. I'm looking at this joint. I hit up DraftKings. That's shameless plug. That's one that I usually go to. That's one I usually hit up, right? And they currently have Canelo Alvarez at minus 600 and Jaime Munguia at plus 425. Like I think that's kind of like been the number over the past few weeks, is that they have Canelo consistent as a minus 600 favorite, 6-1. And with Jaime Munguia plus 425. So they still say that the overall experience level of Canelo Alvarez should be the difference here against Jaime Munguia, particularly with him being in a number of big fights over the course of his extended professional career. What has it been, like over 20 years? Here, his debut. Well, it's been almost 20 years. His debut was at 2005. In 2005, now he's around his 19th year as a professional. In comparison to Jaime Munguia, that had his pro debut in 2013. So I mean, he's kind of like been in the game it's been around 11 years, Jaime Munguia. But of course, a significant difference in the amount of big fights both of these fighters have had over the course of their professional careers. And with this one here for Jaime Munguia, this is like his first opportunity to fight for a world title at super middleweight. He had that fight back in 154 pounds there, where he defeated Saddam Ali for the WBO super welterweight title and defended that WBO title for a good amount of times there before moving up to middleweight, but never fought for a middleweight world title there. And now him moving up to 168, this is kind of like a significant step up. You face a guy like Sergey, which to me was a very, very close fight. And I felt like it was the difference was that knockdown that Munguia scored there against Derevyanchenko in the 12th round. If he didn't have that knockdown, that fight on the cards would have been a majority draw. That's how close that fight was between Jaime Munguia and Sergey Derevyanchenko. But he had improved a lot from that particular fight to his fight against John Ryder, and was able to score those 4 knockdowns in that particular fight in order to get the stoppage win. Now I know that them folks on the zone, the commentators on the zone, was like saying, "Hey, look what he did against John Ryder. I mean, he did much better against John Ryder than Canelo Alvarez did." But as they say, man, styles do make fights, and sometimes the way that Canelo moves and the way that Jaime Munguia moves is completely different. So you got two different styles there. But we got to see like how Jaime Munguia is going to be able to adjust here in this particular bout, because I'm definitely looking forward to that. Like I said, given that this is a big fight here coming up at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, you want to see if Jaime Munguia will be able to step up and really give Canelo a run for his money. A lot of fight fans said wanted to have Canelo Alvarez face David Benavidez. They're of course another fellow, well, quote unquote Mexican, right? But we didn't get that fight. We're getting Jaime Munguia here. That's going to be on PBC, pay-per-view, Amazon Prime, and then also on the zone there. So this one, like I said, is going to be one where you have a guy that has this world of experience in Canelo Alvarez. Is it the point where he's in the back half or he's at the tail end of his career, even though he claims that he's going to be fighting for five more years, that given his performances or whatever it is, I guess against John Ryder, and then his last bout there against Jermell Charlo, that maybe he's kind of lost a step here and there, but from that last fight against Jermell Charlo, he was able to score a knockdown, and then after that, it looked like Jermell Charlo was just not really engaging in that particular fight. So he kind of like went through the rest of those rounds to where he just didn't want to get stopped or want to get knocked out, And after that, Canelo was very confident. He said, like, no one beats this Canelo, but we'll see. I mean, you have this fight here coming up against Jaime Munguia. Like I said, a young fighter, taller fighter, has like a different type of style than a Callum Smith or a Billy Joe Saunders, even like a Caleb Plant, those guys, well, at least with, of course, Caleb Plant, and kind of to an extent there with Billy Joe Saunders, they're more of like a boxer, type of, they're more boxers. They're more of guys that want to move around the ring a little bit, develop or move off the jab or just build their offense from the jab. While Jaime Munguia is a guy that's a volume fighter, tries to throw punches and bunches and just comes forward, But it was like I was saying at the beginning, if he's going to have that particular style against Canelo Alvarez, how is he going to react if Canelo Alvarez kind of like times him and then, starts to throw counters and land counters there, particularly counters where he could throw like a left-right, combination, particularly going to the body. How would Jaime Munguia react to that? And I'm seeing something where if Canelo is able to have success there, particularly early, then yeah, I'm all for that. Jeff says, "Hey, DraftKings is where I go to." Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Yeah, that's the one. That's where I have the most success. There, is DraftKings. I don't really, I don't really mess with, was it like FanDuel or BetMGM or like all them other ones. I don't really mess with all that. You know what I'm talking about? So we'll see how that goes, man. Hold up, I think I got like a little bit of a request here. Let me see if I could tap in with my guy real quick to see if he'll be able to jump in on this joint, man. Let's see what's happening. But yeah, I'm still, looking forward to all this whole joint, man. Yeah, man, I hit you up, Zoe. I hit you up, Zoe. So yeah, go ahead and hit that private joint, and you'll be able to join in here for this preview, because I'm kind of like looking at, one is Canelo at the point where he's pretty much like at the end of the line, or whatever it is. Even before the last fight, folks was talking about Canelo Alvarez and how he was training, and all this type of stuff, and they were having these rumors and whatnot, and even with all of that, I was like, you know what? After you see in the fight, it's like what kind of thing that they were seeing. I ain't really see what was going on there, man. But now, this is going to be good, because not only do you have these two fighters, I like to see what Freddie Roach has in store here for Canelo Alvarez, as he's going to be in the corner of Jaime Munguia, right? And of course, you have the thing there with Canelo Alvarez. He's had his longtime trainer there behind him, so he's kind of like been there from the beginning, in Eddie Reynoso. So you're gonna have two great trainers, on both corners here, for this one. So I like to see how they'll be able to make adjustments, particularly with Freddie Roach, because in the past, Freddie Roach, kind of like has been known for being a very good trainer, with a lot of well-known fighters that he's had in the past, but in some big fights, he hasn't really had an instance where he's been able to make proper adjustments against the opponents there for his fighter to go over and take over and get the win. So here he is in another big fight of sorts, where you have a fighter that's a pretty good underdog, in this, and that he's going to see if he could get his man to score off the upset. For those that are on the thing here for YouTube, I put up the link there for y'all to see if y'all join in, have your takes on this particular fight here. So I'm getting my guy in, of course, that's joining in. He hasn't been on for a good little minute, so he'll be able to provide his picks and analysis of this particular fight here with Canelo and Munguia. Is Zoe in the building? What up, Zoe?
What's good, family? What's good, man? It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it has, man. It has. What's been happening with you?
Life, working. I'm still shell shocked over this Devin Haney thing, man. I still haven't recovered.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. No doubt, yo.
Yeah,
I didn't see it happening either, but that one to me was, like I was saying there right afterwards, man. I expected a lot more from Devin Haney. I felt like he was, undisciplined on the defensive end on that one, and that kind of like really affected things. You know what I'm saying?
like I really felt like when me and the staff was doing the breakdown, the one thing we kept on bringing up was Devin Haney is susceptible to the left hand. You could go back to Jojo Diaz fight. He gets hit with it all the time. And the way he shoots his jab is like a bow and arrow position, which leave him open to the left hook. So we knew this coming in. We all knew this. And for some reason, none of us took it seriously.
Right. Yeah.
Like Ryan's literally the hardest left hooker he's faced. And we knew his weakness was the left hook. But for some reason, Ryan sucked so bad, I just did not think it would matter. And it did. And it did. And I'm shocked. And he needs to reevaluate. He needs to get a new team in there, because you can't spend 8 weeks telling everybody this dude only got one hook, and then you proceed to get beaten by said hook. You need to reevaluate your team.
Hey, I mean, it kind of like goes to that viral moment of them two, in that interview where of course,
yeah,
right, and Devin Haney says, I don't know if Ryan's serious about this fight or not. And like that kind of like said something to me. It was almost like they kind of, win at this, like, I don't know, half-assing it. But you had something here. What real quick there from Jeff? He says that Haney had a bad weight cut. Hey, that's on him, man. I mean, I would be like this if you felt like there was a certain point where you had some issues trying to get down the contracted weight of 140 pounds, just say, hey, screw it. Let's not fight at 140. Let's just go ahead and just have this particular fight, especially given the magnitude of this fight. Like, what's a belt? Like, we getting money. So
Yeah, some stupid money. I heard this shit did just under a mil.
That was like early reports. What I got, if you were able to jump on a couple days ago, what I got was up to 1.5.
I heard the 1.5. I just don't remember where I saw it from. So that 1.5 looked like it's correct.
Well, that's what I got. That's what
So
I got from
all
a
that
couple
weird Illuminati shit really sold the fight.
looks like it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Right.
They had like a whole lot of late entrants going into that final few days. So not only did they get a lot of people to buy in the tickets there at the Barclays Center, but a lot of people tuned in, and I think they may have had like a lot of late people jumping onto the pay-per-view, particularly after the first round or something like that. Getting word of the first round and what happened in the first round. So that's
so right. So does this mean Ryan has supplanted? Well, okay. Let's see what Munguia Canelo do.
Well, I mean, but even then, I kind of like said it there a couple of days ago, just real quick, from that report, right? So, the report that I received that it was around 1.5 million. Now, given that if that's the case, you're going to have Ryan Garcia involved in the last two bouts that went over 1 million pay-per-view buys. No other fighter has been able to do that.
No other one.
Crawford Spence, nope.
It hasn't been done since Floyd. It hasn't been done since the days of Floyd and Pacquiao.
Right, but you only had what was it, that second fight between Wilder and Fury that surpassed 1 million, maybe?
Nah, ain't it? That shit did like 800. I think that shit did like 800. No, I think the second fight did 600 and the third fight did 800. Yeah.
Right, and then even the joint for Canelo versus Plant, where Canelo won the undisputed super middleweight title, that didn't hit 1 million. So
yeah, it was like just under. That's like 900,000 or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So
what about Canelo and Charlo?
Oh no, they ain't touched that, man.
That shit did less than Plant.
Yeah, I think it did less than Plant, if I'm not mistaken.
How the fuck that happened? Nah, I could have sworn I seen something about 900,000. No. I think 750. I think I seen.
Maybe, but that was my joint, was that like he the thing with Canelo, like he hadn't been getting them joints where it was 1 million. So that's like if you had this joint here for for this Garcia joint, then I'm like, hey, he might be the new dude. You know what I'm saying?
Man, Ryan. But look, like I said, I'm not gonna say nothing yet because I still gotta see. Because I have a feeling this Jamie Munguia fucking Canelo shit's gonna be a movie. Like numbers wise, though, that shit might. I don't know if it touches 1.5. 1.5 is crazy in today's time.
Yeah, it's crazy, but
that's crazy. And that's that TikTok shit, man. These TikTok fans, bro. These niggas are not this. That's who's bringing in the bacon, is them TikTok fans, bro. They don't really care about boxing for real. They just care about, because even like Ryan Garcia is a type of person. Like if he generates these type of numbers, it really doesn't mean anything to me because it doesn't move boxing. It just moves him because his fans are for him. I feel like a guy like Devin Haney, the people who would watch him, and if he became a star, I feel like those people will be more interested in watching other boxers, if that makes sense. I feel like Ryan.
It's kind of like how some people are comparing Ryan Garcia to like the whole thing with Jake and Logan Paul. It's almost like they're in the same
kinda.
But it's just that Ryan Garcia, of course, is was a professional boxer and had an amateur background, and was familiar with fighting Devin Haney. So that's where it is.
Devin Haney fought this nigga 7 times and never figured out this left hook shit yet, bro.
That's the whole thing. Like, how do you not, scout that joint, man? Like, how do you not keep, like I was saying after the fight, I'm like, how do you not keep your right hand like you're holding the phone, hold it close to the vest, man, to at least block that, you know?
Nigga, like that shit was like that was worse than Vernon Forrest versus Mayorga.
Yorga?
Yeah, because the reason it's worse is because Mayorga was actually a world champion before, became world champion later. Vernon Forrest, he's a little overrated. Vernon Forrest is a little overrated by the media. Devin Haney was a top 5 pound for pound guy, and Ryan just sucked. I don't know what happened, bro. This is a big, like I heard Jeff Lampley said this is a bigger upset than Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson. I said I know what Vegas said, but on paper, Buster Douglas is a million times better than fucking Ryan. I do not understand. Yo, this is the biggest upset I think I've ever seen. I can't name one bigger than that in terms of skills of what I know niggas can do. This is the
Right,
biggest upset
right.
I've ever seen in my life.
And what's so crazy about it is that was a fight that was kind of like marinating from what I'd say about a couple of years ago, or at least when both of those guys were at 135. Remember, like they were supposed to be fighting each other at 135
Yeah, WC and the WBC interim versus the 4 WBC champion.
yeah, pretty much something like that. And that fight didn't, eventually happen, and they just, let it marinate and build up to this point. So, I mean, it became a much more lucrative fight here in this particular case. But, still, it's like, how do you not scout this man enough to, kind of like say, hey, this is all I got to look for. This is all I got to defend. I mean, that's like saying you know, back from last year, like how Terrence Crawford like scouted what Errol Spence does and what he's used to doing. Like he knows how to like catch what Spence is doing, at least trying to go to the body or throw the left upstairs and then try to counter off that. Like you didn't see that from Devin Haney from a tactical perspective. You didn't see that from Devin Haney. You didn't see that from his corner.
And that's more of an indictment to his corner than anything, man. Like he needs to upgrade that shit, man.
I mean, I don't know who who was in his corner as like a chief second, but remember, like you had guys like Mickey Day in his corner. You had guys like I think Ben Davison was
Ben Davison at one point.
Yeah. So it's like, how do you not have these guys here with you, and you just have your father? This is actually I'll make it even more recent. I know this is not probably not as big of an upset, but this is similar to when George Kambosos upset Teofimo Lopez. So
yeah, because in both fights, the guy who put up the upset, you can watch him and clearly see this nigga sucks. It's not like he's having the best performance of his career. It's just you just happen to catch a nigga slipping. You feel me? Because like Buster Douglas. When Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson, it was a combination of two things. Buster Douglas actually was on peak form, and Mike Tyson was bad. Judge Kambosos was Teofimo was half dead, and you just happened to win because he was half dead. And this shit was I don't know how to explain what this shit is, but whatever this shit was, it happened. But but as you watching the fight, you could look at Ryan and be like, he didn't improve. There's no science going on here. He's just doing whatever he's just doing the same shit Ryan does. And it's Haney who just came out. Oh my goodness, bro! Haney looked like Deontay Wilder.
It was nothing really different than what Ryan Garcia has done in his past few fights. It was just that Haney.
And that's the most disappointing thing. I understand if he has some new wrinkles he picked up from Derrick James that caught you by surprise. I would have been like, but bro, you got beat with the same version that beat Campbell. This is the same version that beat Campbell, bro.
Yeah.
I'm lying. This is the same version that was doing that bullshit shoulder roll bullshit, man. Like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah, like in this fight against Oscar Duarte, he was doing that shoulder roll or whatnot, man. We got, of course, our guy, checking in here. The Box Academic is in the building. What's happening with you?
Not much. How y'all fellas doing?
Well, I'm good, man. Just trying to, make a brief adjustment here because West Coast to East Coast, and then I'm, scheduled to go back to the West Coast here in a couple of days, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Oh man.
Well, Zoe just joining in here. he's going back to that Haney versus Ryan fight, man. And I didn't expect that at all, man. So
I heard some what y'all were saying, and to me, this is a result of a lot of people in this age focusing primarily on offense and not enough on defense. Because like y'all said, Ryan didn't get better or do anything necessarily better. The only thing he did was just throw punches. And Haney was such that he couldn't get away from a punch. He didn't know how to defend a punch. He didn't, the only thing you can say is that he could take a punch, maybe like take a punch and that recover. Like his heart, that's what you can say positive about him. But a man just literally throwing punches at you and then you just not know how to defend that. Like, yeah, you got to do better than that.
It's not even a man throwing punches at you. It's the man throwing the same fucking telegraph left hook over and over. That's what's pissing me off. It's not like he's throwing punches. He's throwing one punch and he's catching it with his shoe.
Well, I'm saying it's more than that. Yeah, he caught him with that left hook, but that's when he was tired mentally. I'm saying when he came on the line and was just like throwing shots like he was hitting a heavy bag, and literally all them punches hit him. I'm talking about those times. Those moments are what sort of set up the little left hand, the film worthy left hook.
This is what I think really happened. I think that first counter left hook in the first round concussed that nigga, and he never recovered mentally to be in the fight. I think he got a concussion. He from that first left hook, he never got his mind right. He never got settled down. And he still figured out a way to win 6 rounds. That just show you how garbage Ryan is, bro. That nigga,
man. Yeah, I mean, if those knockdowns, pretty much was mainly the difference, though. But
Harvey got money on
him. Gave Ryan much more rounds there, if I'm not mistaken, because you had like one score of 115 to 113, basically, but it ended up being 113. So, like, one judge had it in favor of Dev, but then 2 knockdowns kind of like took it off. You know what I'm saying? So that was like 7-5 in favor of Dev, and then the other 2 judges had it in favor of Ryan Garcia. So it was like,
I think I had it 6-6 plus. Fuck the 3 knockdown. That shit was like 7 knockdowns. I don't know why people keep telling me 3. I don't care what the referee said. That nigga got knocked out like 8 times, bro. Yo, he got beaten up by a schizophrenic Mexican. That's on coke. It's bad enough the Mexicans did us dirty on Black Panther. It's bad enough they did us dirty on Black Panther.
That's like you kind of like brought it up before with the whole thing with Burning Forest and
Mayorga.
Mayorga is out there smoking and drinking and all that type of stuff, but he was still able to fight and have that type of style where Burning Forest couldn't really adjust to that. So maybe he had the same thing here.
Did y'all see that? It's a black guy comedian. He got a skit about Ryan Garcia. I forgot his name. I think he out of Atlanta. But he had a skit about him. It was so funny.
Nice.
I might have seen something like that, but man, I missed it. I know what you're talking about. I think I had seen it. Somebody shared it, man. So
yeah, I'm gonna find his name. I forgot his name. He I know he be doing stuff in Atlanta, so I assume he might be out of Atlanta. Say what?
Jesse Banks?
No. He do a lot of like skits. He do a lot of like skits of people, and like he funny. He pretty funny. He a Q, I believe.
Man. Damn, I thought I had seen it somewhere, man, but I'll see if I can look it up because I may know what you're talking about. He did that whole thing with the
in the chair. Yeah. And then he kept wiping his nose and stuff.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, he funny. He pretty funny.
But I'm like that's kind of crazy that Ryan was able to do all of that, have all of those type of antics there for all them weeks, and still was able to pull off this win. So that. Yeah,
Devin Haney should be ashamed of himself.
Yeah, he should be, man. But like I mean, like I was said last week, the biggest thing now at this point, they should go ahead and go for a rematch. That's going to be, at 147-pound limit. That would be the biggest thing there for him.
I mean, if Haney does that, that means he's probably be done with 140 forever, right?
Yeah. But the thing about it is like maybe he should have been done with 140 after having one fight against Regis Prograis. They said like, I mean, even with that one, as I was mentioning, he got down to 140 and then rehydrated and ended up being over 160 pounds. So if you rehydrating and you getting to like 160 plus, what are you doing trying to get down to 140 for?
Because we see how he reacts to other niggas that with 160s punches.
As we saw there, man, like it's crazy how we reacted to those punches there from Ryan Garcia in comparison to like a guy like a
Jojo Diaz, who was ready,
or Jojo Diaz or Yorkis Gamboa,
Jojo probably landed more left hooks. And then another reason we see why a nigga like Tank is so adamant with all them niggas that rehydration shit. Y'all niggas not about to come here big as fucking beat me up. Y'all already more skilled than me. Y'all not about to beat me up and be bigger than me on top of that. So I see the rehydration point. Because like, let's be honest, man. If you go back in time, he let Ryan come in wherever Ryan want to come in at, bro. Ryan come up at 157, 159. The Marlon shit he was doing in round 2 probably looked even worse. You feel me? You probably have better punch resistance. You feel you probably take them body shots big if he comes in at 160 versus Tank instead of 140, whatever the fuck he was. You feel me?
I mean that's up in the air. It's up in the air. But I also think there was something there with I don't know with the training stuff too. So I think that was also a factor. I mean, not as much of a factor here for like Derek James here in this fight against Devin Haney, but like, yeah, I think he from a like skill perspective, you seen the mistakes there from Ryan Garcia in that fight against
all
Tate,
night.
All
night. That's the most frustrating thing.
That's the thing about it is like he's more of a guy that like does things where he's what I would say like straight up or upright. Like you can see his stance be like wide and everything like that, or he leave himself out in the open, right? So a guy like Tank, who's much shorter than Ryan, right? So Ryan could throw off the jab and throw the left jab and come through with the right hand, but if he's standing upright and you got a guy in Tank that's much shorter than you and also, crouches down, by the time you throw that jab, he's going to be under that and you leave yourself open to that left hand, which what happened in the second round.
Now you see, I don't think people should have it fucked up. This did nothing to change what would happen if Devin Haney fought Tank. This does nothing to change that shit.
But here's the thing: I don't think that fight's in the cards here. I think both. I think
it never was in the cards.
Haney and Ryan are gonna be over 140 pounds plus, and Tank ain't going up to anything above 140. That's not gonna happen. So
unless he's fighting Marvel.
So the biggest fight there that's gonna be left for Tank Davis at this point is Shakur Stevenson. Now the thing about it is. Right. But this is interesting though. But I'm gonna go through that real quick. Tank Davis had mentioned that he has like a 6 or 7 fight deal there under whatever Amazon Prime pay-per-view or whatever it is. And he did mention that Shakur Stevenson is within that.
What he didn't mention was he's number 7. That's how they do it over there. They're gonna do it just like how they did Bud. They're gonna say Shakur like he's some final boss or some shit. He's number 7.
And I hope not. That fight should go ahead and take place within or by March of next year. Like if it's not after the Tank versus Frank Martin fight, it should happen like after that following fight. But I mean, you kind of like went through how the thing was gonna go. Like it was gonna be what 2025 or 2026
Yeah,
before those guys face each other.
yeah. I think you're reaching. I
Yeah,
think you're reaching. Bro.
that wouldn't be a good look, man. I wouldn't.
I mean, it depends, man. He about to beat Arthur whatever the guy's name is.
After about the time.
Yeah, whatever that shit is.
Yeah.
After he beat him, I'm gonna hopefully Bob Arum throw the bag and get him the Williams Zepeda fight. Throw a little decent money at Williams Zepeda fight. I think that's a good profile fight. That builds up your profile. And then after that, you fight the winner of Loma versus Navarrete. That gives you 3 belts now. It's bubbling. That's you bubbling.
Well, but I mean that's the thing though. Is Top Rank willing to like invest that much into pretty much like almost any fighter at this point. But into Shakur Stevenson, we'll see. That's how that goes there. But
so y'all made a comment about Ryan and Tank. The same thing Ryan was doing in this fight was working in the dang Tank fight. When he was like throwing a bunch of punches at Tank, it was working until it stopped working. Until he like kind of like crowded him, and then Tank ducked on the left hand and like hit him, but it was working. It had him visibly. I mean, he was winning them rounds. He was winning quite a few of them rounds.
The round he got knocked down in, he was mauling Tank on the inside.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It worked. It like these guys just don't. It's kind of like they don't focus on the defense a lot. Like, yeah, everybody got offense, but this guy just throw punches and it works against all these people. Well, 2 guys, but yeah.
But here was the other thing too that they were talking about with Ryan Garcia, right? And I might get two different opinions on this one, right? They were saying with Ryan Garcia having this left hook is like Deontay Wilder having the right hand.
Nah, man, because Ryan got more tools than that, bro. Ryan actually got more. He can set shit up to a point. As garbage as he is, he's way better than Wilder. Like skill wise, he can set shit up. Come on, man. That's disrespectful, man. That's disrespectful, man. That's disrespectful. I
can see the comparison. I can see where you're coming with the comparison.
A closer comparison is Rolly Romero is closer in skill level to Wilder than Ryan. Like Rolly's the guy we like. That's a lot of things.
Hey, we know Wilder talked to some ex-girl of his. That's why he mad at Wilder. We already know that.
Man. Come on, how you gonna compare Deontay Wilder to Rolly Romero, dude? Come on, yo. That's crazy.
Skill level wise, man. The skill level wise is the same shit.
But the crazy thing is that Wilder will make it into the Hall of Fame for what he's done in the heavyweight division.
Unfortunately.
Meaning he's done something.
Yeah, he's done something. He made an impact in the heavyweight division.
He made an impact.
Long time world champion, WBC champion.
I don't understand. I don't understand the criteria for the Hall of Fame because Zab's not in it yet.
Yeah, I know Zab's not in it yet.
Zab's a bazillion times better than Wilder, and we cannot argue that, bro.
What does skill got to do with it's accomplishment and skill?
Well, Zab was an undisputed world champion.
Yeah, before Chance Crawford came, he was the last undisputed. It was like 20 years, and the last one was him when he beat Spinks.
So.
You're right. You're right.
He's been a multi-division world champion,
and his popularity also.
Yeah, and that.
I feel like that popularity shit should have no bearing on Hall of Fame because that's how we get that Arturo Gatti bullshit.
I was about to say you know that's why.
Yeah, that's why we get that Arturo Gatti bullshit.
You're gonna have that thing with Arturo Gatti, and we had this discussion months back in reference to Vasyl Lomachenko, and you know what NBO said in reference to Vasyl Lomachenko. So you do have that.
What he said.
That he's going to have one of the worst resumes in the Hall of Fame almost ever.
Yeah, of course. But popularity.
You know what's pissing me off about MVO saying that? Because MVO is the same nigga, and he's saying Lomachenko will have the worst resume in the Hall of Fame, and then push this Wilder being a Hall of Famer shit. Lomachenko's resume shits on Wilder. You can't even argue that. I
don't think Wilder lost as much as Lomachenko. So let's start there.
I don't think Wilder beat as much.
Let's start there. Wilder hadn't lost as much as Lomachenko. So let's start there.
Yes, he did.
He only lost
Count them.
Three
Yeah,
times.
Yeah, both.
Lomachenko lost like 4 or 5, hadn't he?
No.
No.
All these young niggas beat Lomachenko.
Lomachenko got 3
he
losses.
he got the Teofimo. He got Haney.
Devin. And he got Laura. He got that robbery where he got punched in the dick like 1,000 times.
You mean his first fight that he lost? At least Wilder didn't lose his first fight.
Yeah, that nigga got punched. Yeah, the first fight he lost, he was fighting a top 10 challenger. Wilder didn't do that shit until fight number 45.
Oh man.
Hey man, one day you're gonna tell us what Wilder did to you.
Instead of saying that, why don't you tell me what Wilder did to me, just say is anything I'm saying a lie? That's the best. That's why I ask you all the time, what am I saying that's a lie?
You be saying a lot of shit that's a lie. You have become more truthful. I gotta give you that. You got closer to the middle of the line where like you'll go up and down across the line, but you still be saying some biased shit.
Who's the highest ranking opponent Wilder has beaten?
Highest ranking. What's the name? Because he was a champion at the time. Oh no, he got a tie. He got a tie with Tyson Fury.
I saw the highest win he has against a ranked opponent. So his
Tyson
Fury. He never beat Tyson Fury. So his highest win.
He got a tie. That's like beating
not a win. That's not a win. I'm gonna say I clearly said what I said.
Luis Ortiz.
Like his highest ranked opponent on paper, I think Bermain.
It's against a Haitian guy. You should be happy because of that.
Bermain Stavron was ranked number 5, I think, when he fought him.
He was number 5. How the fuck he gonna be 5 and he got a title?
He calls Bermain Stavron a Canadian, not a Haitian.
Yeah.
How he gonna be number 5 when he got a title?
Because he got a vacant title. Remember, he got a vacant title from being Chris Arreola. Before that, what notable wins did Stavern have on his name? He don't have a notable win.
I know Stavern suck. I mean, you ain't got to tell me that, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I know. That nigga suck ball. I'm just saying that's what he was ranked. Like fucking Lomachenko, nigga. Lomachenko probably got in all his fights, he probably got 2 fights that was against niggas that wasn't ranked. And the reason the niggas wasn't ranked is because Rigo jumped up in weight and Rigo wasn't in the weight class. That's the reason he ain't fight, wasn't ranked. But that nigga still was pound for pound ranked. You feel me?
That's true, but what I do know is he done lost his biggest fights.
You don't think Rigo was one of his biggest fights? I mean, Rigo, like shit. At one point, niggas was pushing Rigo to be generational.
But you gotta judge that shit. You also can rewrite your view of something after the outcome. The Rigo fight, like Rigo got old.
Rigo won a title after that. Rigo didn't lose until he got robbed against Casemiro.
Ooh, he won a title after that. He wasn't the same.
Like the thing with Rigondeaux, right, was that he goes up there like two weight divisions up, to face Vasyl Lomachenko, and then doesn't fight for another 2 years, and then like he goes down, down to bantamweight. So after the Lomachenko fight, where he's like almost at 130 pounds, he goes back down to bantamweight, which is at 118.
Listen, I'm gonna say this: going into the Rigo versus Loma fight,
which is 20 weight classes.
Going into the Rigo Loma fight, I pick Rigo to win the fight. So I'm not gonna change because he lost and quit. I'm not gonna act like this nigga wasn't the shit, nigga. He was the shit. And he wasn't. He stopped. The only time he stopped being this shit is when the fucking pot cooker blew up in his face. That's when he stopped being this shit. Because he ain't lose to Casemiro. I don't care what nobody say. He ain't losing no goddamn Casemiro.
I don't think anyone won in that fight. That's the thing. I don't think anyone won in that fight. So yeah, that one was kind of a throwaway there, man.
Yeah. But listen. I think Lomachenko. I view Lomachenko the way I view Mike Tyson. There's certain people who overrate him, and there's certain people who underrate him. You feel me? You rarely gonna find somebody who just say he's a good fighter, he's Hall of Fame worthy. You're either gonna find people say he's overrated or people say he's Muhammad Ali. I'm one of the few people you'll find in the middle that's like he's not the greatest thing since sliced bread, but he's not ass. He is a Hall of Famer though.
I think we all say that on this call. We all agree with you.
Or in reference to Mike Tyson.
Oh, you don't say that about Lomachenko?
The niggas don't like Loma, man.
No, Lomachenko, man.
JR don't like the East Europeans, bro. JR don't like Triple G. JR don't like Jennifer. Man, he don't like none of them communist niggas, bro.
Nah, Usyk. I like Usyk much more than any of them fighters, man. I like Usyk way
Yeah, I
more
like
than
you.
any of them fighters. Way more.
Yeah, yeah, but you know, you got your exceptions and shit. But for the most part, man, you don't fuck with them East Europeans, Lord. Like me, I don't. The only thing about the East Europeans I don't fuck with the media coverage they get because they be so biased and obviously racist and shit. I don't like their media coverage. But them personally as fighters, I don't have an issue with them. Though I think Triple G was nice until he got old, bro. I think he was nice. I think he would have destroyed the Charlos, both of them. And you know it.
Mm,
You know it.
I don't know about Jamal. I
Yeah, I
don't know.
can't say both. Maybe like see that's you're saying exactly what I said earlier. After seeing someone's performance, you can rewrite your thoughts on how they would have performed and or how they should be viewed
Yo,
beforehand.
academic. I've been calling the Charlos trash for years. It's at the last second. I literally picked them to beat Canelo at the last second because that had more to do with Canelo's decline than Charlo. I never was one of the Charlo niggas. I'm never a nigga who I never got what people saw in them niggas. Them niggas was just average as fuck to me. I never got what people like this superstar shit people were seeing. I know what it is that Texas shit. Cause you know Texas done got a whole bunch of boxing fans and them niggas delusional. Any nigga from Texas they just go crazy over that shit, man.
Come
So,
on, man.
so you can't get behind the black Americans, but the white people, you can get behind them, huh?
Nigga, am I not behind Shakur Stevens? I don't understand that shit. I'm talking about Shakur
I'm
Stevens.
fucking with you though. I'm fucking with you though. I'm fucking with you. I'm joking. Completely joking.
Hey, but you was talking about the whole thing with Canelo, and you said like you picked Jamel Charlo in that fight that was in September because you thought Canelo was on the decline. But going back into what's coming up on Saturday, do you think are you gonna go with Munguia? Do you think the decline is gonna finally happen against Jaime Munguia, or do you think that Canelo will be able to pull off another win here against the guy?
My brain tells me Munguia's gonna walk into something repeatedly and go to sleep. My gut is telling me this is the year of the upsets. But my brain is film study is telling me Munguia sucks. He's gonna throw something, he's gonna get caught repeatedly, and he's gonna get knocked out in 5-6 rounds. But my gut's telling me he might just outwork Canelo to a decision. Nothing skillful, nothing, just pure outwork this nigga to a decision.
If he win, that's how he gonna win. Exactly how you just said.
Yeah, by doing that. But the thing about it is that like I think the style that like a guy like a Dimitri Bivol is the style that would be the Canelo. I don't think what Jaime Munguia does is something that could really beat Canelo because Canelo will just eventually catch up to the pattern of Jaime Munguia and be able to counter with better precision over the course of the rounds, and that is gonna eventually wear down Munguia.
If Munguia can take single shots from Canelo, Munguia can survive 29 punches per round and win.
Munguia gonna come out there and use his jab. He gonna look a lot different. Like you said, he gonna be able to take some single shots from Canelo, use his jab, throw shots in bunches when he need to, get hit with one shot, and then he gonna keep moving. Then he gonna try to just consistently use his jab, which is what we saw in last fight, right? Wasn't he using his jab a lot more in that last fight?
Yeah, under Freddie Roach. Yeah, under Freddie Roach got him jabbing more.
He trying to practice it. They did that for the Canelo fight.
I still think Munguia is just so fucking flawed, bro. He's so flawed with everything he throws is flawed. And if Canelo got anything left, but okay, put it this way: if Canelo wins and it's a close fight, like 8 rounds to 4, 7 rounds to 5, Benavidez might just stay at 175 and don't bother.
Yeah, because he'll never fight him.
You'll never fight that nigga. No. I'm not about to fight this nigga throwing 100 punches per round, and he know what he's doing. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, but I mean the thing with Canelo, like Canelo's punch output a year ago against Sean Ryder, he was averaging around like maybe I would say about 42 to 45 punches around against Sean Ryder.
And that shit probably lying right there.
Yeah,
that's probably the Pacquiao effect.
Against Charlo, he probably throwing like 32 punches per round or some shit against Charlo.
Yeah, he probably did. Like, I don't think he really threw that many against Charlo, man, because especially after scoring that knockdown, you didn't really see that much at all.
Nothing.
Like, yeah, like he didn't throw more than 40 punches in the round for that entire fight.
That's insane.
But did he have to
Yeah.
though?
Yeah, Charlo didn't even force him to
I
do
don't
anything.
think so.
Yeah, that's why I
But
never
what's
took
crazy
Charlo.
is that they said Charlo over the course of the 12 rounds ended up throwing more punches. That's the crazy part. But it's
Hey
like
yo,
it didn't look like he had much of an effort, though.
listen.
So
So I'm saying Bud knocks this nigga out in 6 rounds. What y'all saying? 6 rounds? That sounds good.
what?
Who? Knock who out?
Whatever
Jamal,
that. Yeah,
like
yeah.
I ain't really touching much of that fight. Like a lot of people ain't really looking forward to that fight. They're looking forward to
But
the undercard.
here's why I'm looking forward to it. Here's why I'm looking forward to it because Bud gets the WBA, and then Spence is gonna dust Fendora and get the WBC, and there's the unification we've been waiting for. There's the rematch. Now it has a compelling story.
Well, we're gonna see because we gotta see what's happening with that WBO status too. Because remember, the thing for the Majimov fight, that's also for the WBO interim title. And if the WBO approves Spence Fandora for the full WBO, and that would be a unification, then you would have Spence as a unified champ if he beats Fandora, and then you would have Crawford there as WBA champ. So that would be another rematch. So
then Bud beats the fuck out of him again in a rematch and then end his career by destroying Vergil Ortiz for the last belt. Vergil Ortiz and Charlo for the last 2 belts. Damn, that's a good way to go out.
Is it a guarantee that Spence gonna beat somebody like Pandora?
It's a guarantee, man. Listen, you know what I think? I think people hate Bud so much, and people are so embarrassed that they was talking shit about Bud that they're convincing themselves that Spence is not who he is. Spence is still who he is, and when he gets in there with Fendora, he's gonna fuck Fendora up.
Physically, Spence is who he is physically, or do we really not know that still? Because I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with this nigga.
we don't
He just got
we
beat up
don't
by.
know what's gonna happen after this whole thing with the lawsuit between Errol Spence and Derek James because
Yeah, that's
that's the thing there where it's like a whole disagreement. Now it just depends on how this thing goes because they go forward with the trial in reference to this, then yeah, it's a wrap for them. But if they just end up settling, then maybe they kind of like reconcile and whatever it is, because you still have Derek James dealing with Spencer's fighter there in Frank Martin.
yeah.
So it's like, what do you have going on right here? I think it was just an overall disagreement as far as like how
I think it's gonna work itself out, man. So basically, what it is, 5 million. Like Derek James feel like Spence owed him $5 million from the Terence Crawford fight. That's basically
that's basically the whole gist of the lawsuit. The
get that
disagreement.
nigga his money, man. Get that nigga his money. He gave you sound advice.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
Does
Right.
Derek James seem like he is over, or like if there's something with him and Ryan Garcia? Is there any press about them two?
What specifically?
In the fight, he just seemed like he was ready to get it over with. Like he was dealing with the stuff, but he looked
Oh,
like
you mean like leading into the fight? Like he was
leading into it at the end of the fight when he didn't thank him. Maybe he thanked him later or something, but he didn't say his name. He said everybody else's name except his.
Mm.
And just Derek James, like he looking like
Now,
this nigga.
you know what would be crazy is after I had put out we had put out the report in reference to the whole thing with the pay-per-view buys. What if Ryan Garcia didn't pay Derek James that percentage? That would be some crazy shit. That would be crazy. That would be wild. That would be wild if he didn't get that. You know what I'm saying? But I think that he'll go ahead and pay it. Not with all the stuff that Ryan Garcia was talking about. immediately after the fight in reference to, directed towards Earl Spence, that ain't no way he wouldn't pay Derek James that percentage.
What do you say to Errol Spence?
That, all the stuff about, going back and forth with, Spence and Derek James in reference to, what had been going down, because he was within that same camp, But I do have like another theory in reference to Derek James too, when it comes to, who he's been, who he's dealt with and who he's been dealing with. And I think and I said this earlier, I said this last year, he almost is at the Eddie Reynoso level, when it comes to having a stable and the caliber of fighters that he has or had in his stable. Maybe he shouldn't have all that. So we'll see. Well, I wanted to go back into that card here with Canelo and Jaime Munguia. Once again, big ups for everyone listening live on YouTube and Twitter. If you want to share any comments or thoughts, you can hit up the YouTube channel and you'll be able to join in and share your reactions on there. With Twitter, you don't really get that much of a luxury on that joint. But we have this undercard, and we got Mario Barrios in there against Fabian Maidana.
Who cares?
WBC interim welterweight championships. What did you say, Zoe?
Who cares? Maidana's brother versus Barry. Yo, I'm so mad. I'm so bro. If I had a son that was boxing, I would make him sign with PVC, because look how they're able to manipulate somebody's resume to make it look good, bro. Think about Maurice Barrios. Eventually, after he beats Maidana, he's gonna get elevated to WBC champion, right? Then you have bum ass Rolly Romero, who became WBA champion in the most fakest way, and then you had Isaac Cruz go up.
Wait, but Rolly is a Mayweather fighter.
I mean, but no, that's still under the PBC umbrella. You know what I mean? It's like them niggas know how to fake it. They know how to fake this shit, dog. Like, in hindsight, you're gonna look at it like, oh shit, he beat 3 world champions. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Let me guess, though, is Deontay Wilder's fault, huh?
Nah, man, Deontay is victim to the same machine, man. It's the same machine. It's no different. Like, every promotional company got their own shit they do to make niggas look better than they are. Like Top Rank, what they do, they have you win the WBO title at 118 and then move you up at 122 and make you fight for that WBO title, then move you up to 126. And then before you know it, you're 5-division champion. You ain't beat nobody of note. So every promotional company got their own bullshit.
So that's what they're currently doing with
who? Navarrete. Oh yeah, of course that's what they do with Navarrete. Yeah. Of course, bro. That nigga's a 3-division champ.
It's like all these promotional companies have their relationships with these sanctioning bodies to where they get
where they know how to move, where they know how to make it happen, bro.
They know how to move. You know what I'm saying? So
Eddie Hearns is such a bad promoter that he can't pull shit off like that. He can't pull these shits off in America, so he probably doesn't do
it. I guess they say you don't have enough pull like that, but
you don't got no pull.
But yeah, I mean. Yeah, this card here, the pay-per-view card, you got 2 interim titles that are on the line. You got the WBA thing with Ian Sanionis and Gabriel Maestri. You got Jesus Ramos on the card. That's gonna be off the pay-per-view. I thought they were gonna have Kermel Moton on the card, but he's been removed off that card. So
wait, yeah. Is he 18 yet?
Who? Moton?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is.
I thought that's why they don't show him on TV, because he's under 18.
But they had him on the joint for the last joint on the free portion.
Facts. Yeah, he probably is.
Yet.
Huh?
He's not 18 yet.
Oh, that's what niggas were telling me. They said that's the reason they wasn't showing him on the live card, just because of his age.
Nah, he was. I mean, they moved him up because I don't know. The whole mix-up with what happened with the injuries and all that type of stuff. So that kind of scrambled the card there on March 30th. But it ended up upgrading that Kermel Moton fight to be part of that free portion now on Amazon Prime.
Why Tank going in on that little kid for, man? Why Tank, man, leave that little kid alone. Why Tank bothering that little nigga for?
Man, I don't know what Tank is talking about Floyd Mayweather. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, but he also went at Carmel too, dog, because Carmel had posted
But there's been a few people that kind of like say that the way that they're treating Carmel Moulton early in his career is different than what they've done with past fighters that have been under Mayweather Promotions.
What do you mean by that?
Some people have kind of like talked about that. That's part of the reason why Jaleel Major Hackett is not with Mayweather Promotions no more.
But what do you mean by like they doing it differently? Like, be specific. I'm not following. What do you mean?
As far as like preferential treatment of sorts.
Oh, so when they said Carmel is not getting the special treatment?
No, Carmel is.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, shit.
So,
shit, that's how it is.
Yeah, that's kind of like what the temperature is around there. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody got their golden goose that they treat better. That's just what it is, bro. Like, nigga, that's like Espen. I heard niggas
you
told
can have
me,
a golden goose, but that doesn't mean you have to have a whole bunch of ugly stepchild children.
Yeah. I hear you, but niggas told me Espen. No, hey, that's why Hitchenson's left, right?
Yeah, that was mentioned. That Hitchens, he was under the thing there with TMT, and he ended up leaving. And so that's why you see him there under Matchroom Boxing. And so there, when I talk about Jaleel Hackett, like he'll have something announced here real soon, and I have a feeling it's gonna be pretty big. Now I had two possible things there with Jaleel Hackett, but I'm keeping it
in house.
Yeah.
I think I see
Shakur mention something like that too. I could reach out to his dad, but I'm not going to do that. I'll just leave it alone and leave it to him to announce.
I think Shakur mentioned some shit like that. He said when it came time when he was about to sign, and Floyd was putting the pressure on him to sign. He said Floyd had showed him a poster. He said the poster had like in the middle was like a big ass picture of Tank and everybody else little as hell. He said he was one of the niggas that was little as hell. He like, fuck out of here, man. I'm about to go to Top Ring. That's just crazy, though. Like,
I mean, hey, that's kind of like how some things are with a lot of these promotional organizations. But I mean, they'll have that, like for Matchroom. Like Matchroom, what do they think they're gonna do for Matchroom? They're gonna have Anthony Joshua there featured, and then everybody else behind that. So.
Shit, man. Matchroom is preferential for nigga. It's better treatment for fucking AJ. Lomachenko could ask Bob Arum for whatever. Bob Arum's gonna do it. You feel me? Like it's every company.
Yeah,
it's like that, bro.
You'll have it there for like everybody for Matchroom.
Like my boy Andre Berto. Andre Berto could call Al Haymon right now and say, I want a shot at the WBA title. Al Heyman's gonna make it happen. Because Al Haymon love him some Andre Berto. I don't know why.
Not more than Leo Santa Cruz.
Yo, they said he gave Leo Santa Cruz $12 million for the Tank fight, my nigga. And gave him money to sit out for the year. He gave him some extra money to sit out for the next year.
Wow. That would be wild, yo. That would be wild.
Dog, like, I ain't gonna lie. When Al Heyman's fond of you, bro, he gonna take care of your fucking ass, dog. Cause they said before PBC came along, they said Leo Santa Cruz was a world champion living in a 1-bedroom apartment. I mean, living in an apartment. I think he was sharing it with somebody. Now you talk about you go through. You got paid $12 million to fight Tank. You made more money than Tank did on that fight, and he gave you some more bread to sit out the following year, my nigga. Yeah. Come on, bro. Niggas gotta stop talking about bad about Al. When he likes you, bro. I don't know if they're doing some Diddy party shit over there.
Nah, man, no. Hey, shout out to Matt Gomez here on the live chat on YouTube. Yeah, Joshua is Matchroom's biggest payout. Yeah, I mean,
by far.
Yeah, easily. So they're gonna, build off him. So we got to see what's up with Joshua because they got something set up for him. For August, it looks like scheduled for August or no, I think
true.
September. It depends. I gotta see what's up. What happens here? Well, September. I think September's too short
Oh, I
because
got some bad news.
the thing was like some people thought they would angle for Joshua to face the winner of or at least with Philip Hergovich because
For the
Philip
IBF.
yeah, for the IBF. But with Hergovich, already being in this thing here, man, against Daniel Dubois, it's gonna be too soon for him to turn around from June to be back in the ring in September. At least I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna get back in another fight within 3 months time.
Yeah.
So,
But
damn.
I got bad news, bro. It's very
What?
bad news. I'm about to say something that's gonna hurt. Tyson Fury's in excellent shape, man.
Oh yeah. We heard that. I heard that. Like
Man,
he's like after the whole thing that happened with Francis Ngannou, like he ain't playing around. So
it's looking like he's gonna be moving around.
oh
To get
yeah,
back, keep it on the outside behind
oh
the
yeah,
jab. It's,
oh
it's,
yeah.
it's looking like it's gonna be like a 117, 111 type of situation.
Hey, it could be a 117, 111 thing, man. But like
Yeah.
if Usyk, if there's any way that Usyk is able to pull this off, though, bro, like come on,
Go.
man. You gotta consider him on the best ever, man.
If he finds a way to get inside
Like
that reach,
folks don't want to necessarily say that too fast, but think about what he's able to do. At least kind of like it's kind of like you got to put him there. Well, at least put him there in like where Evander Holyfield is, where he had been able to do what he did, from cruiserweight and then going up to heavyweight and being a heavyweight champion and that type of stuff. So at least Usyk will be in that particular viewpoint if he's able to score this win against Tyson Fury and become undisputed at heavyweight. But he'd be undisputed in cruiserweight and then undisputed at heavyweight.
man, like that. It's just like I'm not saying Fury has more skill than Usyk. He doesn't. It's just if Fury's in great shape, he doesn't need all the skill. The one skill that he has above Usyk should be enough to win that fight.
It should be
move, keep him behind the jab and move. But if Usyk turns out to be even trickier and slippier than we think, he just find a way to get under it and still hitting them with lead right hand, spinning them, then I'll be like, okay.
But the thing about it is, I think Fury is going to try that same thing, that he's going to, lead off of the jab, whether it's from the orthodox or southpaw stance, and then move off of that, and move away from, where Usyk is. So,
and he gonna throw body shots and lean on his little small ass.
No, he's not.
Nah.
No, he's not. He's not. That's the type of shape he's in is showing you he's not. He's just not the type of fight. He's going
what
back.
What kind of shape is he in?
Excellent shape, my nigga. This nigga don't have a trimmer body.
He's not going into this like how he went into those last two fights with Wilder like that. He's not gonna do that. He's gonna go into there and throw a lot of feints, shuffle his feet, move around the ring, that type of stuff. Almost like how the first fight with Fury and Wilder, so.
Except more jabs, bro. Except more jabs.
Yeah.
It might look like we might get that same shit we got against Klitschko. That fucking boring ass shit.
We can't afford that though, man. I wouldn't like that. But hey,
because I feel like if this nigga is able to move like how he's able to move back in the day, if he's able to move like that and just stick the jab, I think it's just gonna be a matter of Usyk could never get his offense going because he never gets close enough, and it's gonna be real boring. It's not gonna be no punishment. It's just gonna be horrible, boring. One jab, move, jab, and occasional hold, move, jab. I don't think there's gonna be that much holding. I think he's gonna stay away from this. I'm not saying
I'm saying whenever he get in, that's when he gonna lean on him. When you say hold, I'm saying he gonna like put his weight on him.
Because it's not that much weight this time around.
So Fury was at 247 pounds against Klitschko. That was almost 10 years ago. Man, I don't know, but if he's like around like 250s against Usyk, then yeah, maybe he'll have that same type of movement or style like he did against Klitschko or that first one.
But
we'll see.
What if losing the weight end up making him slower? Because he hasn't fought this small in a while.
I'm not. Yeah,
Man, I just
serious.
need Fury.
I don't
I
think
just need
I'll
this
be.
nigga to lose. I just need Fury.
I don't think.
Damn, man, Fury's chose the wrong time to be in shape, man. I hate this nigga.
It's like a lot of people, have that type of feeling there with Fury. Like either they really hate him or they like him up to a certain point. But yeah,
But you want to know how I feel? I feel like stylistically, I still feel like AJ stylistically would beat Fury. So how would that? Hypothetically, how would that play out? Let's say Fury beat Usyk and then AJ beat Fury. Who's the best heavyweight? Who end up being this generation's heavyweight?
so if Fury beats Usyk and AJ beats Fury, the only thing though, I think it could end up being Fury still, but I think AJ and Fury will fight more than once though.
Well, I think it might end up being AJ because let's see, that would have been made
It depends. But it depends. I think it
9.
depends on.
That may put a 10-time world champion if he
It
was to
depends
become
on
undisputed.
how. It depends on how Fury beats Usyk. I would say.
Yeah. But if Usyk beats Fury, then all this shit's over.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah,
It's over. He's
yeah.
just he's like, man. If he beats Fury, we're gonna have to sit down and say like, God damn, we really sat down and watched the generation that produced Terrence Crawford, Inoue, and Usyk. That's insane. And niggas didn't even appreciate. And these are 3 fighters that people from my culture chose to ignore and not appreciate, man.
Well, I think no. I think it's some people appreciate Crawford, but a lot of people don't like Crawford. That's the thing about it. The thing with Usyk is there are a number of people that appreciate Usyk, but he's not, quote unquote, big enough for like the general people to like kind of gravitate around. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of not that much different than what Vladimir Klitschko was. In a way, him being in Japan, that's the thing about it. He's in Japan, so that's where all of his attention is at. So there's that. Matt Gomez, in reference to the heavyweight thing, yeah, Joshua's still dangerous. Yeah, I mean he is, but we got to see like what's going to be next for him. I don't know. It really depends on what happens on May 18th, because if Fury wins, you know that fight is going to happen by either December or around this time next year. But if Usyk wins,
Okay, if Usyk wins, more than likely he retires, right?
yeah, I
And
think
Fury probably retire, right?
he probably. I think Fury would retire if he loses to Alexander Usyk. I think he would retire.
So what are the chances that AJ collect all the Infinity Stones all over again with them two here with his 2 biggest obstacles out the way?
I mean, it's up there, but
This is the reason I'm secretly praying that Wilder knocks out Big Bang Zhang to keep this fight alive. I need this fight alive because I know Fury. If Usyk beat Fury, I know both of these niggas is off the board and all the titles scattered. So I know once again the 2 top niggas will become Wilder and AJ again, and I need this shit to happen. So I need Wilder to knock out Zhang. I need him. I need it bad.
Yeah, because if Wilder loses to Zhang, or if Wilder gets stopped by Zhang,
It's over.
It's
It's
over.
over. It's over. Nigga, even if he don't retire, they'll force it out of him. They'll force that shit out of him, bro.
Yeah, it'll be over for him, man.
Yeah, but I'm hoping he knocks out Zen because I miss Lennox. I didn't get Lennox Lewis Riddick Bowe. I'm not gonna go 2 generations say I didn't get Wilder AJ. That's not about to happen. So Wilder, you need to handle business and knock this fucking Chinese communists out. You feel me? We rooting for you. I say Black Lives Matter.
Oh my goodness. Hey, see there about academic, he's not completely a Wilder hater, dog.
Listen, we need Wilder to win, man. Boxing Academic, we need your support. Where you at, bro? We need it.
He's like, oh my goodness, he ain't even taking what.
And I'm not talking about. I'm talking about. I need to not. This is what I think is gonna happen. I think Zen's gonna come out early. He's gonna start beating up on Wilder. Then his gas tank is gonna, deplete. And then around round 7, Wilder's gonna stage a comeback and send that nigga back to the Great Wall and shit.
Hey, listen, I think, with Soleil saying at this particular point, he only has about 4 or maybe 5 good rounds left in him. And after that, he's pretty much done. So if Wilder could just get past 4 or 5 rounds, then he should be able to, go ahead and stop him. And it would be, like I said, it would be something if he's able to, drop it and stop us Soleil. That would be something.
That
He
would
said,
be.
man. Said he met Wilder in Los Angeles. He's down to earth and shakes your hand. Yeah, he's always been a great people person. He loves people, man. So it's not like he's like a complete asshole or nothing like that. No, he's not like that. He didn't grow up.
I don't think he's an asshole per se. I just don't like that persona that he do when he tries to sell fights, when he tries to sound like this villain and he tries to say shit that sounds deep, but it just comes out country and dumb.
Oh man. But he says like this time around, coming off the press conference, that a lot of stuff is kind of like off his shoulders or whatever it is, because the word was like he dealt with a lot over the past 6 or 7 months internally, and I'm talking about not like within the camp, but I'm talking about like family wise or whatnot. So he cleared or whatever, but hey. As long as he has that cleared and he has a clear head and clear mind, then he should be ready to go here against Soleil Zhang. Now,
listen, Wilder versus AJ.
There's probably a couple more months on here. There might be an outside chance that I might get another interview with Soleil Zhang here before that fight does take place. So we'll see.
Tell him.
But also, man, I got to catch up with Coach Ronnie Shields because I'm going to try to get one in with Philip Hergovich as well. So, that's another thing I'm going to.
When you interview Zhang, tell Zhang that we appreciate him, but the culture needs something that's more important to him. So he needs to lay down versus Wilder. There's something more important. There's something bigger than him. We need Wilder versus AJ. I need to see AJ knock out Wilder before they both retire. And a unification bout, the IBF champion versus the WBC title, dog.
WBC title.
Don't ask me how Wilder's gonna get it. They'll figure out how to give it to him. Trust me.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see how that's gonna shape itself out. But
boxing academic, where you at?
I don't know, man. He might be having a extended break or something because he hasn't chimed in, especially when you're talking about Wilder. He hasn't chimed in. So.
Yeah, I gave Wilder positive reviews. And he probably caught a heart attack. We don't know. He probably not okay right now. He probably shocked.
Yeah, he's probably in shock or whatever it is, man. But
look, bro, my girl just cooked, bro, so I can't even stick around on the show too long because that shit smell good.
All right, though, Zoe, good thing you were able to jump in here for a little bit to chop it up with us, man.
Deontay Wilder, Bomb Squad.
Yeah, now we know Zoe's trolling.
Hey, I'm back now.
Okay, before I leave, I said you missed the whole thing I said.
No, I heard you. I was like, y'all see, man, I can't tell you what I was doing because y'all gonna talk about me, but yeah.
You're taking a shit?
Man, let's go on. Let's talk about whatever we talking about. Come on.
Yeah, you're taking a Duquan, bro. You're just moving them bowels.
Wait a minute.
You're just moving them bowels, fam.
Come on, man. Come on. Let's move on. So
he said he was losing some weight. Okay, so he was losing
that dude had a colon cleanse.
All right, so yeah, he now we got Lord Zoe on the bomb squad for this fight against Soleil Zhang, man. He wants to have Wilder knock out Zhang, man.
I need it. We need it for the culture. We cannot let, because it's bad enough we didn't get Lennox Lewis versus Riddick Bowe because Lennox Lewis ducked Riddick Bowe.
Mm-hmm.
No matter
I'll
what.
tell you what, if Wilder come in thinking that he gonna have all of the offensive arsenal in the world, then that chance of him winning goes down a lot. Wilder needs to be very focused on. I mean, his jab and his 1-2 should win him this fight. But he got to throw some fucking jabs, though. He just can't be walking around the ring.
Here's what's going to win Wilder the fight. Wilder's going to get beat up for like 5 rounds, and then Zhang's going to gas out because he's 96 years old in Chinese years. You feel me? So,
but does Wilder, in his ability to his lack of ability to take punches now, does he survive 5 rounds of getting beat up at this point in his career?
I think.
Man, don't say he's like how he's not gonna be like Joe Joyce, man, at this point.
Yeah,
man.
I don't think it's gonna be that. You feel me?
If Wilder jab, Wilder should be fine. He can throw his little one jab and do his little basketball step backwards. You know, he can do that and stay away from Zhang. And just keep resetting. He could do that. He could do that and stay away from Zhang.
Zhang's gonna run out of gas and by 5 rounds, and his technique's gonna go to the wayside. He's gonna walk in for that bomb squad, and that's gonna be that, bro. And then Al Heyman's gonna figure out a way to give that nigga the WBC title, and then we're gonna set up a unification fight with him and AJ.
Man, I wish we'd have had the fight earlier when you know when things were different. That's all I'm gonna say.
There was no point. There was no point, and there was no point in their careers where Wilder
3-4 years ago, Wilder would have sparked AJ out.
There's never a time where Wilder.
Yes, it was a time. Wilder would have knocked him out clean.
Never. Like I told you, the fight would have always.
Wilder got hit with that egg weight, man, and he ain't been the same.
Man, the fight would have ended. The fight would have ended with a knockout mid windmill, a perfect counter mid windmill, bro. He would have went to sleep, bro.
Wilder gonna knock AJ out, and then he gonna get the titles back, and then they gonna make him a movie like George Foreman and Mike Tyson and stuff like that, and it's gonna be a great story because he got a great story. It's a story. All he got to do is knock AJ out. This is a story for Hollywood. Wilder retire, go act in movies, go be Mr. T son or whatever you want to be in in the Rocky movies, and
more like AJ knocks out Fury. I mean AJ knocks out Wilder, and then he goes on to get the rest of the belts. Now that Usyk and Fury's out the picture and become undisputed and retire, that's a crazier story. And he got the acting chops. He's the guy that more. But look, man, you see, I made me stay here for an extra 5 minutes, man. I'm hungry. But
man, Joshua, old lame ass, that nigga, man, yeah, that nigga. Hey, no square should enter in the circle of windows, man. That nigga too square, man.
Wilder's an L7, bro. What are you talking about?
Wilder ain't no L7. Hey, at least Wilder got personality. Wilder.
What personality?
I think Wilder can act better than AJ.
That nigga don't got no personality. He's just country.
He got personality. He at least the nigga can crack a joke. At least he can crack a joke. At least he know how to have nuance and stuff.
Give me a joke.
Man, he done said something funny in his life. Anthony Joshua just kind of like square, like it's hard for him to. Anthony Joshua seemed like a cool dude. I'm glad he on the up and up. Let me just say that. I'm glad that he's on the up and up. He's peaking. He's doing his thing. And I just hope Wilder knock him out, when they fight.
I just hope AJ don't knock him out too quick. I hope AJ don't knock him out. I hope AJ stops him other than that. Because knocking out would be letting him out the hook. I want him to stop him, a consistent punishment of ass whoopings.
Oh, man. We'll see, man. We'll see how that goes. But shout out to Zoe for joining in here, man. He said he got to go.
All right, top boys.
Go eat your fried chicken, Zoe.
Nah, man. It's foo-foo over here.
Oh man, but yeah, that's Zoe for y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Big ups to Zoe for joining in here, man. Yeah, that June 1st card gonna be fire though, man. That June 1st card gonna be fire. Definitely looking forward to that. Shoot, man, I was joint here with the fight card coming up on May 4th, and then you got, like I said, Canelo versus Munguia on there, Barrios versus Fabian Maidana, Ian Sanionis versus Gabriel Maestre, Brandon Figueroa against Jesse Magdaleno. I think a lot of these matchups here are kind of leaning favor leaning seriously in favor of the A-side fighter, with probably the exception being maybe Iman Stanionis versus Gabriel Maestre. But I'm thinking Maestre is not going to be able to, outbox Iman Stanionis on this one. So I'm leaning towards Stanionis on that fight. Fabian Maidana getting this interim world title shot against Mario Barrios, like that's out of the blue. I mean, you're gonna have Marcos Maidana's younger brother getting a title shot here against Mario Barrios. Yeah, that's wild there. And then Jesse Magdaleno against Brandon Figueroa. I thought that there would have been another matchup out there for Brandon Figueroa, outside of Jesse Magdaleno. Like Magdaleno is coming off of losing to Raymond Ford last year, so that that one kind of like was a left field type of a matchup too. So I think a number of people have been kind of like criticizing the amount of matchups or the matchmaking for this particular pay-per-view card, but they kind of like expected much better matchups than what we have here coming up on May 4th. So, but we'll see how these these things turn out here for that particular card. And I think just what has it been, man? It's not going to be about 2 days afterwards that you're going to have Naoya Inoue going up against Luis Neri in Tokyo. So you're going to have this fight card over in Las Vegas on Saturday, and on Monday in Tokyo, it's going to be Naoya Inoue versus Luis Neri. So a lot of action coming up, this week and over the next few weeks here, as the month of May is going to have a lot of action here. But we're going to probably go into a little bit more on that Inoue versus Neri fight on the midweek report, hopefully on Wednesday. If not, what I may end up doing on Wednesday for the midweek report, I'm going to should be over there in Vegas. I have to check the schedule here as far as like what's going down out there. Yeah, let me see. I gotta confirm this joint here, but you're going to have the grand arrivals for the whole thing on Canelo Munguia. That's going to be on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday is the press conference and then the media workout. So what I may end up doing is for the midweek report on Wednesday, I may end up having a thing there where I'm live over at the MGM Grand or something like that for that undercard media workout. So we're gonna that's gonna turn out. So y'all be on the lookout as we'll see if we can go live there for that undercard media workout on Wednesday there for fight week for Canelo versus Munguia. But yeah, that's mostly what I had in reference to that. Wanted to touch on what happened on Saturday or last night. Yeah, you did have the thing there with Jose Carlos Ramirez getting the unanimous decision win over Rances Barthelemy, where it was a pretty good action fight in that one over the course of those 12 rounds or so. But yeah, Ramirez, man, he was getting caught with left hands, and that thing that happened in that what was it, the third round? Man, they ended that fight early, man. I mean, that round early. That was crazy. They ended that round early there because he was in some real trouble, you know what I'm saying? In that particular fight, and he was able to adjust and work and be consistent, going up close, working to the body, going upstairs a little bit. There was some times there late in this fight where you had Jose Ramirez be able to have Rances Barthelemy in some real trouble, where it almost seemed like he could have scored a stoppage there either in the 11th or the 12th round, but it ended up going the full 12 rounds. He got that unanimous decision win on there. So Jose Carlos Ramirez is now 29-1 with that lone loss to Josh Taylor for the undisputed super lightweight title a few years ago. And so we're going to see what's next out there for Jose Ramirez there. I think he had been called out by Arnold Barber there, which that would kind of like be a really good matchup if they're able to set that up. They're particularly under the Golden Boy Promotions banner. But some people kind of like felt like maybe Jose Ramirez kind of lost there a little bit, but I don't necessarily have that type of quick twitch style to where he's dangerous as a southpaw, for just about anybody. I mean, we've seen his performance that he had against Gary Antoine Russell over at the Barclays Center, some time back, where Gary Antoine Russell had a number of issues there before he was able to get a stoppage. And yeah, shout out to Matt Gomez there. Yeah, Jose had a little bit of ring rust there. He's been out for over 12 months. His last was against the Richard Comey, where he was able to score, the stoppage victory over Richard Comey in the same arena. So him getting over Rances Barthelemy, was a good little scrap. It was, better than I had anticipated. I thought it would have been, just like a clear, a clean win by Jose Ramirez there, but it was a lot closer, I felt, than the scorecards indicated on that. Like I said, in those rounds where you seem like Ramirez was in trouble, particularly early in this one. That kind of like was a key thing there. You know what I'm saying? I said, like, after 2 rounds, it was going to be Ramirez just doing work, and then him getting seriously hurt there in the 3rd round, and then like I think they had stopped that particular round with like 10 or 15 seconds left. So I was like, whoa, what's going on with that? But after the 4th round, where you still had Jose Ramirez getting caught with those left hands, he was able to deal with that, and then still be able to do some work on the inside and tie up Rances Barthelemy, so that Barthelemy really couldn't throw that much while in close quarters. But when he was like when he had good spacing there, Rances Barthelemy was able to land the left hand and throw the jab and stuff like that. So there's still going to be a few things that Jose Ramirez is going to be working on there, but he was able to get this win, solid win for him. And like I said before, Barboza wants that action there with Jose Ramirez. That would be a great fight there in the 140-pound division against 2 guys there that were trying to contend for the world title here, and with Ramirez, who wants to be a world champion once again at 140 pounds. So that would be a good good matchup there for and then in that co-feature bout, which shouldn't have been much of a co-feature bout, you have Ortiz Jr. there against Thomas Delorme. What in the world is Thomas Delorme doing above 140 pounds? He was there at 150 plus, over 154 pounds in this one, and it only lasts around. I thought it wouldn't last but 2 rounds. Went down. Delorme went down by a body shot, so that was an easy night. So that's like 2 first-round knockouts are there for Vergil Ortiz Jr. here in 2024, as he had the whole thing with Frederick Lawson in January, with Tony Weeks stopping about early there in that one. But now he's going to be going up against Tim Tszyu here. That's going to be part of that card with Crawford versus Majumov in Los Angeles on August. And that is going to be an awesome fight between these 2 fighters. You're going to have Ortiz there, undefeated. Tim Tszyu, former WBO champion, there 54 pounds, of course, losing to Sebastian Fundora in an absolute bloodbath on March 30th. Man, I that one was a crazy bout, and I still don't understand how that thing went through the full 12 rounds. As badly cut as Tim Tszyu was, and as badly bloodied as Sebastian Fundora was, with the broken nose and the busted mouth, and they were able to still go through those 12 rounds, and Tim Tszyu just fell short in that one. Was a split decision loss, but he's still one of those top competitors there at 154 pounds, and now him going up against Vergil Ortiz, that's going to be a great matchup there. Hopefully it does stay 154. Ortiz has had his weight issues there at 147 pounds, and here in his last bout, that was supposed to be around that 154-pound range. He still was, there at 155. So he's been at 156 in the fight against Frederick Lawson, 155 and a half against Delorme. So they're able to have this kind of like be around that range. Then it's going to make for a great fight. It's going to make for a great fight that's coming up on August 3rd. But I'm not sure, man. This is definitely a step up here for Vergil Ortiz. Yeah, he's there 21-0, all wins by way of knockout or stoppage. You know what I'm looking at what would be Vergil Ortiz's best win there, and I'm not sure. Is it his win over Kavaliauskas? I don't maybe it ain't the Maurice Hooker fight. I know that. I might say it's either the Kavaliauskas fight or maybe Samuel Vargas, maybe. But outside of that, nothing really notable on his resume that you could kind of like point to say that, hey, maybe he could, really have something here against Tim Tszyu. But I have to see how Tim Tszyu looks, especially after having that serious cut, on the top of his head there. So, there's definitely that. Academic there, you see what went down there with Vergil Ortiz yesterday?
No, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I know the thing was like on the zone and whatnot. And the overall card, I think like the overall card there by Golden Boy was kind of like, I don't think people were like really excited about the card in general. So maybe a number of people wouldn't pay much attention to it, but for them to kind of like announce that Vergil Ortiz is facing Tim Tszyu, that happened like earlier in the week. That was something. You said like the story was that Ortiz Sr. like told Vergil, he's like, hey, they got an offer out there to for you to fight Tim Tszyu. You're gonna take it? He's like, hey, hell yeah. So that's why he was ready to go right into that particular bout. When it's scheduled and just go through this thing here with Thomas Delorme and just have that easy win there. But what do you think about that matchup there with Vergil Ortiz and Tim Tszyu?
Well, I think we're going to understand a lot about both of these guys because, I think we've learned something about Tim Tszyu. Mm-hmm. Tim Tszyu is durable. He has a good wheel, right?
Yeah.
And so, do we know that about Vergil Ortiz? Do we know that yet? Do we know how Vergil Ortiz reacts when he is back against the wall? Do we really know how he reacts? And when he's not sort of like the front runner, do we really know how he will perform when things aren't going his way? We have seen Tim Tszyu, things aren't going his way, didn't quit, losing a lot of blood, and he still was trying. He mentally had whatever, but he still tried and he performed like a champion. Can't say I've seen Vergil Ortiz go through that. And so it'd be very interesting to see how he performs in a fight where he should have times that he's not going to be the one pressing all the time. It's going to be some moments in this fight where he is not winning those moments, and how he performs. We're going to see how he performs when things aren't going his way.
Yeah. And my thing was like, I thought we would pretty much would have got a gauge of where Vergil Ortiz Jr. would be at if he was able to go forward with that fight against Ian Stanionis there at 147 pounds, but we never got that opportunity. At the time when he was at 147, some folks was like saying that he would be, the guy that would be the one of the best young and upcoming fighters at 147, and probably would have been the best young guy out there. Some people saying that he would be better than Jerome Booth Sentence at 147, which I'm like, I don't know about all that. But that given, now he's here campaigning 154 pounds, and he's going to be going up against Tim Tszyu, who up to a certain point was probably top 2, top 3 guy at 154 pounds before he had this loss against Sebastian Fundora. So he's going to still be there floating around in the top 5 at 154. And like you said, we're going to probably see for the first time Vergil Ortiz Jr. kind of like deal with a little bit of adversity here against the Tim Tszyu, who loves to come forward, is willing to take a punch to give a punch and all that type of stuff. So,
but Tim Tszyu can't be taking shots from this guy. He just can't be letting this guy tee off on him, though. Like that's not gonna go well. He gonna have that cut open up again.
Yeah, that could be it too. That was the thing that kind of like surprised me about Tim Tszyu taking this fight. This is just 5 months, after less than after the fight against Sebastian Fundora. I was thinking like Tim Tszyu would kind of like have something where he would need stitches or whatever it is for the cut that he had there in that particular fight. But now it's like they're saying Fundora is going to be out for longer than Tim Tszyu is. Like yeah, that's crazy. So
Tim Tszyu didn't get stitches.
I don't look like it because he wouldn't have been cleared to have this fight, or he wouldn't have been approved to have this fight against Vergil Ortiz. At least I wouldn't think so. Not this soon. I mean,
for him to close that cut, he had to get stitches.
Yeah, but they say like it's like at least from the Nevada Athletic Commission, he is out for a couple months, but after that he's good to go. So I said, hey, we say he's good to go for this, then hey, he'll be out and ready for what's going to happen here against Vergil Ortiz, man. So that's going to be something there for him to have this type of year where he's going to be facing the Sebastian Fundora and now against Vergil Ortiz. Then yeah, that's going to be good.
If he loses, what do we say about him?
About Tim Tszyu?
Yeah, and I guess the next question is, it depends on how he loses. But if he loses the decision versus loses by knockout, what do we say about him?
Then yeah. I think some people will kind of, downplay Tim Tszyu if he loses by stoppage against Vergil Ortiz a little bit. But I think it will be more towards in favor of Vergil Ortiz, is saying like he's able to stop a guy that's a top 5 guy at 154 pounds there in Tim Tszyu. I think with Tszyu is that he had those moments there with Sebastian Fundora. I think if it wasn't for some people say if it wasn't for that cut, like the accidental cut that he had there against Fundora, he would have had some real success against him. The first couple of rounds that he had against Fundora, he was really popping Fundora with those punches, and he was able to get to the inside on Fundora. It was just that after that cut, he his approach was really affected, and it kind of like changed what Sebastian Fundora was doing. He was kind of like working on the jab and keeping the distance, away from Tim Tszyu, and that's how he was able to rack up some rounds.
Tim Tszyu's taller than Vergil Ortiz, right?
No, he's not.
What's the height differential and arm reach differential?
Ortiz is at 5'10". Tim Tszyu is at 5'8.5". But the reach is pretty much the same.
Okay.
So that could be there something there for Tim Tszyu to kind of work towards, because he don't have to worry about somebody that has a significant reach advantage. Like Vergil Ortiz has the same dimensions as Brian Mendoza had, and Tim Tszyu was able to deal with Brian Mendoza had after a couple of rounds. Like Mendoza had a couple of good rounds there against Tim Tszyu early, and then Tszyu was able to adjust and kind of like turn up the pressure on Brian Mendoza in order to en route to a unanimous decision win. But here you have the same the same dimensions there with Vergil Ortiz Jr. But Vergil Ortiz could probably be in a different class than Brian Mendoza. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Matt Gomez, that's an interesting matchup. Their potential matchup at 154. Vergil Ortiz versus Eric Salubin. And we'll see, man. That could be a good one, But Eric Salubin was looking for that fight with Tim Tszyu there and wasn't able to get it. I think, it's kind of like I think there's an interesting situation for Eric Salubin. Ever since he got that win there over Jesus Ramos Jr., now it's almost like seeming like they can't really put him in there in a significant bout at 154 pounds. We'll have to wait and see there, you know. So that's how that goes, man. What is it, man? It's almost like 2 hours in here on this live here on the Boxing Source podcast. Biggest for everyone listening live, particularly on Twitter, X, and then on YouTube as well. Like I said, man, y'all hit the like button, y'all share, y'all subscribe, support the Boxing Source here. And like I said, you know, I'll be back at it on Wednesday with the midweek report. Like I said, you'll see how things are scheduled to where I'll see if I'll make that undercard workout and try to be live on that and catch you know, the fighters on the undercard for Canelo versus Munguia on that. So with that being said, I'm gonna wind down, and I still got like a couple of days before I go back out there to the West Coast, man. It's gonna be crazy, you know. Anything else I hear from you, Boxing Academic?
No, nothing for me.
All right, for sure. So that's it on my side. You know, thanks again for everyone that's joining in live. For those catching the replay, y'all be sure to hit the like button. Y'all drop you know, some comments on there. If you have any reaction to what we said here in the course of this podcast, and you know, once again, Wednesdays live, Sundays live. We here on the Boxing Source YouTube channel and also through X if I decide to put it on X. The midweek report for Wednesday will exclusively be on YouTube. So if I'm out there for that undercard workout, then you'll pretty much like see it on YouTube there. So y'all be sure to catch all of that. But with that being said, like I say at the end of every show, folks, point of boxing is hitting, I can hit, not understand, and trade. On that note, folks, I'm out. Have a good evening, everybody.